Aditi, you can start now. I've started recording.
Okay. Good morning. Hello, everyone present here today. I welcome you all to the 126th episode of the Future Talks conducted by Prayaana. This is Aditi, your host for today. I welcome our viewers who have joined us on YouTube live webinar series. Now let's have a look at our Prayaana organization. Prayaana. Prayaana is itself an employability, entrepreneurship, and innovation ecosystem for women. Prayaana Lab career counseling, training, mentoring, and recruitment services. You can get yourself registered by downloading the Prayaana app or by visiting our website to www.prayaana.in. Register yourself today. You can share your ideas, thoughts, and many more. Prayaana Collective Fracol, India's first e-commerce platform dedicated to to the empowerment of women. Uniquely designed, attractive affiliated marketing model, all customers given an opportunity for lifetime savings and earnings. You can interact with us on YouTube live chat. Ask your doubts, queries with our speakers. Our guest for today, Ms.Pooja Bose. Mrs. Pooja Bose is an award-winning educator, a dynamic women achiever, and a student-focused leader who is inspired by stalwarts like Mr. Ratan Tata, Mr. K.R. Krishna Kumar, and Mr. Harish Bhatt. We are happy to say she is a regular speaker at Prayaana Future Talks, and we always look forward to her sessions. Now let us have a look at her professional life. Mrs. Pooja did her bachelor's in education from Delhi University. After completing a master's in English from Annamalai University and master's of education from Indira Gandhi National Open University, she worked as a principal of various schools across India. Most notably, she was the founder principal of Delhi Public School in Rudrapur and the founder vice principal of the Bharat Ram Global School in Noida. She is currently serving as the principal of the High Range School in Munnar, Kerala, where she is working towards raising academic levels of students, improving educators, teaching skills, and encouraging community involvement. She is also collaborating with schools in Korea in association with the British Council. She is a recognized CBSE training coordinator who has conducted several workshops and webinars on classroom management and technology in education, amongst others. She has won several awards and gained international recognition for her work in the education sector. Some of her achievements include winning the 21st Century Education Leadership Awards 2019 for Exceptional Educator by America Leadership Board, Dynamic Principal Award for Excellence in sorry, in Academics by EduFeed Foundation and Global Women Achievers Award by SEAS. Once again, we are happy to have you here, ma'am, today. Let me take this opportunity to invite you to enlighten us with your thoughts on the relationship between success and happiness. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Aditi. Thank you for this introduction. We can stop the screen share now.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. Once again, it's a pleasure to meet all of you on Future Talks. Today, our topic of discussion is quite exciting and also something which we are often, thinking about, and we also are intrigued by this very relevant relationship between success and happiness. Now, if I ask you to write down on a piece of paper, if you take a pen and paper and write down, how many of you want to be successful? And how many of you want to be happy? I think there would be a unanimous yes for both the questions. But if I ask you to write down what does a picture of a successful you look like, can you define that picture in an objective manner? If you take 5 minutes in defining your personal image of a successful you, what would that be? Do write that down. Now, if I ask you to choose one thing between the two, what would you choose? Would you choose success? Would you choose happiness? Just write down on your personal piece of paper and fold it and keep it with yourself. Now, to progress, let me start with my presentation. I hope you all can see.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am, it is visible.
great, great. So, today we are going to talk about success and happiness and what does it look like. Let's find out what is the definition of success. Success is the state of having achieved and accomplished an aim or objective. Being successful means the achievement of desired visions and planned goals. Furthermore, success can be a certain social status that describes a prosperous person that could also have gained fame or its favorable outcome. The dictionary describes success as the following: attaining wealth, prosperity, and fame. But do you think attaining wealth, prosperity, and fame is enough for success? And what about happiness? Is that also enough? These three things enough for happiness? The reality is that success cannot be described by these three dictionary words. Success, in actuality, is whatever you define it to be. Maybe for you, you want to determine how to be successful to achieve financial freedom or a flexible work schedule. Some may want to travel the world, while others just want to pursue what they are passionate about. Being successful isn't necessarily about being rich or winning awards. It can also be about personal fulfillment. If you had to design your perfect day, what would it look like? Spend 5 minutes to describe what would be your perfect day. The reality of life is that success is not the end of the journey. It's the journey itself, which involves progress, continuous improvement, being better with each passing day. So, progress and not perfection will lead to success. Progress, not perfection, will lead to happiness too. How would you define success in life? Because you're the only person who can do that. I'm neither able nor willing to prescribe the ultimate definition of success, as this is just not possible. Every person is thinking differently about being prosperous in life and is defining success in another way. So there can't exist a definition that is suitable for everyone. It is very important that you know exactly how to define success in life, which is your personal customized definition of success. Instead of choosing to merely exist, like every day goes by and by and by, nothing new happens, nothing exciting happens, no progress happens. Instead of doing that, experience life. Live every day as if it was your last day of life. Make yourself aware what accomplishment, success, and prosperity in general means to you in your life. And these three are important words: accomplishment, success, and prosperity. Some people define success as having a luxurious car and a huge mansion, whereas others consider a life full of joy and happiness with their family as the true meaning of success. And both the definitions are perfectly fine as long as they mean something to you. Once you have figured out what is important for you personally, you are able to focus on your vision and goals. One of the most important key steps to achieve success in life is to know the meaning of success for your personal life. The true meaning of success goes far beyond the common definition of success, such as having a lot of money, being wealthy, having a lot of tangibles, and earning degrees. The true meaning of success is much, much beyond these tangible goals. Media and society lets us often conclude that living a successful life means to be extraordinarily wealthy, having a lot of tangibles like a big car, a big house, a big mansion. But the meaning of success is to live a happy life and to make this world a better place for everyone. Now, that is the most difficult thing to do. It's, I would say that to become rich, to become, wealthy, prosperous is easy. What is more difficult is to be happy and how to live a holistic life. To know about success, let us know what is failure. It's the opposite of success, undoubtedly. And failure as it means to fail while trying to achieve aims or objective. Besides, this regular definition of failure is also, if it also can be said that even wealthy and successful persons fail in their lives many times. Just think about the rich and famous and all their scandals, addictions, and suicides. All of them were extraordinary persons, but a lot of them were also extremely unhappy with their lives and were not able to see the meaning of success. Wealth cannot be defined with money, but instead with values in your life that make you a happy person, such as friendship, relationships, and your family. The difference between accomplishment and success. Accomplishment is often associated with success, but it is not the same. Accomplishment refers to the results we desire when we attempt to reach specific goals. And here the underline phrase is specific goals. There is a sense of accomplishment when you reach a specific goal. That means your goals should be specific. You should clearly be able to define what it is you want to do. Basically, it is the result that we plan or expect to occur. Success is the positive consequences or outcome of an achieved accomplishment. So post accomplishment, you feel successful. The definition of accomplishment. Accomplishment can be seen as the process to become successful, and with every accomplished goal, you take a step towards prosperity and a life full of success. So a series of accomplished goals will lead to success. How will you achieve success in life? The process of becoming successful starts with elaborate goal setting. First is you need to have a goal. Define a strategy and a plan how you intend to reach your goals, aims and visions. That means a stepwise strategy that you will follow. Timeline, action plan. How will you reach your goals? Keep in mind that success is the consequence of having earned a series of accomplishments, so make sure to divide your goals into easier to reach sub goals. That means that when you have a bigger goal, like I want to be a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, now you should have sub goals to achieve that major goal. And within those sub goals, you need to have some accomplishments like MBA, a degree, or a position in a good Fortune 500 company. And then how you climb your way up the ladder. So that clarity of thought will help you become successful. The major barrier in achieving happiness and success to some extent is materialism. Now, the social media or the television has created a fanciful image of materialism all around. Like big car, big house, designer clothes, all these are parameters of a successful person. But do they really give you real joy? Often it is seen that once you achieve that, once you buy that big car, your attention goes to the next one. The reality is that life is a succession of lessons which must be lived to be understood. And life takes time, lessons are lived. So, as they say, there is no shortcut to success, friends. There is actually no shortcut to success. Success is time consuming. Success is a series of lessons which have to be lived, which have to be undergone, which have to be experienced, and then only it leads to success. Sometimes success comes when you're very angry, when you have a chip on your shoulders and you are being angry with the world, and out of vengeance to prove a point to the world, you work harder and you grow at a much faster rate. I like to pretend that I'm the biggest failure in the world with everything to prove. That means you are a failure and you have to prove to the world that you are not a failure. With that thought, you will work triple hard just to prove a point. If someone doubts me, I do whatever it takes to prove them wrong. Don't piss me off because when I'm angry, I always win. This can and be another strategy to uh, adopt if you want to be successful. 8 ways to be successful in life. Quickly, we'll go through 8 pointers which can lead to success in life. The silver bullet is that you need to put in the work every day for years. There is no shortcut. There are no miracles. There are no surprises waiting for you. If you want to be successful, except for winning a lottery ticket, I don't think there is any successful person who's not made it by not working hard. So no matter how many times people tell you, you are still going to dig around for the secret answer. Our tendency is to look for a secret answer, to think that what is it that leads to success? Something secret. What is his secret to success? What is her secret? But there are no secrets except that they work very hard. They are not lazy. And most of the people who are not successful are often found lazy. Start creating better goals. Now, goal creation is one of the important steps to achieve success. Instead of having goals like, I want to make tons of money, and then you think that why you have not been able to make tons of money is because you don't have an actionable goal. The goal should be defined in actionable points, and quite frankly, it isn't that motivating either. Money is great and all, but it won't leave you fulfilled. So you need to have a goal which is more fulfilling, which is more, easily definable. Then only will you be able to achieve that goal. What's your life's big purpose? Maybe being successful to you means taking action to clean the world's oceans or to help prevent animals from being extinct. Now, most of us don't have such big life's purposes. We think of smaller purposes like, I want to build a 3 bedroom house for myself. I want my children to go to Ivy League colleges. These are, goals with smaller spheres. But if you have a bigger sphere, then you will be able to achieve more satisfaction, more happiness by attainment of those goals. Well, you need money, and that's where your money goal comes into play. For every goal attainment, you do need money. How much money do you need to help solve those problems? Get a calculator and reach out to some nonprofits and start crunching numbers. Then use that exact number as your goal. What he's trying to say in this presentation is that we should have actionable goals. We should have some derivables. We should have some objective attainment goals so that we are able to reach our big goal in life. Yes, don't forget to enjoy the little things that life offers. the dew on the leaves, the thunder and lightning, the sound of birds, sunshine. These are the little things of life which will help you get happy as you attain your goals, as you work hard. Pause and enjoy the little things of life to combine your success with your personal happiness. Stop looking for validation. Many a times we look for people around us to validate, to acknowledge our success. Unless everyone around you is a giant success, your mom, dad, best friend, partner, and dog don't need to approve your business idea, for example. Understand this that not everyone will approve of what you are thinking, what your goals are, what your ambitions are. Even the members of your family may not agree with you, but you have to stop looking for validations. Live life your way. Stop looking to others for validation, whether you are on the right track or not. But if you really want to know if whether you are on the right track, ask yourself, am I living the life I want? If the answer is yes, you're on the right track. If the answer is no, you've got some changes to make. And don't let outsiders cloud your thinking. Start living your dreams. Being successful in life isn't about a magical moment when everything falls into place. It's about the little moments in life. Moments when you are happy, moments that you are really soaking in. Truth is, you can experience those moments even if you are currently stuck in a 9 to 5 job. If your goal is to run an online business, you've got evenings and weekends where you can start plugging away. Maybe you want to be a digital nomad. You can talk to your boss about working remotely for 3 weeks while you work abroad. So you have to start living your dreams. Don't wait for that magic time or magic stage of your life to come when it will all fall in place. It has to be now, and you have to make changes in your routine to achieve that. Stop looking for a mentor. Contrary to the popular opinion, there are no mentors for most of us. Well, if you have one, you are particularly lucky. It can actually be really great for building a career to have a mentor around you. People don't want mentorship though. They want someone to do all the work for them. This is something which is really interesting. Mentors are not people who will do your day-to-day work or who will be help you to achieve your sub goals. They will only be guides. They will only be that facilitators who will help you orient you towards a goal to be accomplished. Entrepreneurship and being successful is all about taking ownership. If you don't take ownership of your wins and losses, you never really get that. Oh my God, I did it feeling. So you have to take ownership for all your failures and all your successes, come what may. And you also never learn from your mistakes because they weren't your mistakes in the first place. So every time, don't look at the others' shoulders to fire your guns. Start believing that if you are trying, you will fail. If you are trying, you will pass. But it's all yours, it's your battle. You don't need a mentor to teach you how to be successful, especially if your goal is to live life on your own terms. You don't have to be the best on day one, but you can start building up on it. If you consistently take the time every day to invest in your growth, you'll be amazed by your growth a year from now. So start building your expertise. Believe in yourself and stop blocking yourself. Roadblocks, bad days, failures, procrastination, what do they have in common? How many of you do this as a matter of habit? They're all in your head. I didn't exercise today because I had dash dash. I won't exercise tomorrow because I'm fasting. I won't exercise day after tomorrow because it's raining. So they are all in your head. I'm so used to roadblocks that my instant reaction is always to find the workaround. You need to change anything about yourself. Change your perspective first. Change your attitude first. Everything else will fall in place. Start doing. The secret to achieving anything is to start doing now instead of procrastinating it to the next time. You can't achieve success if you haven't done anything in life, right? There are no big financial rewards just for showing up, just that I was present, I was there. No big financial rewards for people who just mark their attendance in their offices. You need to put in the time and energy into building something, step by step, brick by brick. After all, the most successful people were all creators. So you too have to be a creator. Like Mark Zuckerberg, who created Facebook, Jeff Bezos, who created Amazon. They were all creative people. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. Perfect relationship between success. So, what we are trying to say is that success and happiness stand independent of each other. And the fact is that happiness should come before success and not after success. Happiness is not a byproduct of success. Success, yes, can be a byproduct of happiness. Why we say so? Reason is scientifically, our brains work better at positive than at negative, neutral, or stressed. Every single business and educational outcome improves when we start at positive rather than waiting for a future success. Sales improve 37% across industry, productivity by 31%. You're 40% more likely to receive a promotion if you are happy. Nearly 10 times more engaged at work. You live longer, you get better grades, your medical symptoms are less acute, and much more. So, happiness is the key to success. If you are positively conscious, if you are mindful of your happiness, if you live in the now, then you will see hope in possibilities. A negatively conscious person will see no solutions. You'll be happy and you will enjoy life. Or you'll be sad or depressed. You'll be open to others' ideas and or you'll be having controlling behavior. Want to help and change, or you are stuck in the same old pattern. Want others to succeed, want others to stay the same. You feel connected with others, you feel lonely. Receive, you are more receptive to others, or you're more critical of others. You feel light and free, you feel heavy and burdened, or you exude positive actions, or you exude anger and hatred. Do you attract in positive situations, or you attract negative situations? Like you can actually tick mark and decide whether you are a positive consciousness person or a negative consciousness person. Happiness is the secret to all beauty, and there is no beauty without happiness. This is by Christian Dior, the maker of all the expensive cosmetics, world class cosmetics around the world. And according to this person, happiness is the secret to beauty, not cosmetics, not fanciful creams. There's a there's a zone where happiness and success meet. That zone is called the zone of fulfillment. And that's what you should strive to achieve. The bigger it is, the better, where success meets happiness, and try to expand the zone as much as possible. There's an advantage to being happy. And what is that? The relationship between success and happiness. How many of you believe if you work hard, you will become successful? And once you become successful, then you will be happy? This is a broken formula. I told you that if you, in the beginning, that if you were to pick one thing between success and happiness, what would it be? Most of us will feel if I become successful, I will automatically be happy. But that's not the truth. The truth is, happiness is the precursor to success, not merely the result. Happiness and optimism actually fuels performance and achievement. We become more successful when we are happy and more positive. It turns out that our brains are literally hardwired to perform at their best, not when they are negative or even neutral, but when they are positive. Would you compromise your happiness for the success of the relationship? It's a very personal question, and I want you to answer this. Would you compromise your happiness for the success of the relationship? Will you do that? Do you do that? How do you feel when you do that? On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you right now? What is one thing that you can start doing daily that will increase your personal well being? Start with one new habit or ritual and use physical reminders to help you remember what you want to do. Do you want to increase your movement each week or get more sleep each night? If this is what you have to achieve, start now. Every little step counts, and a small progress is progress. A small progress is also progress. Now, this is a wonderful video which I want you to see, and which is actually, it's a Harvard study of 75 long years on what makes a good life. What makes a good life? Lessons from the longest study on happiness. Listen to it.
Excuse me, Pooja ma'am, sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. The audio is a little bit low. It's sounding scrambled. Could you please try to increase the volume?
Let me do one thing.
Okay.
I will play this from another source.
Yes, ma'am, that is also fine. Thank you, ma'am.
Just give me a minute.
Okay.
I'll share the screen now, and let's hope that it's, visible.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Let me know. I'm starting to play, okay?
Okay, ma'am. The video is this.
What their most important life
Yes,
goals
it is
were.
audible. It is clear now. Thank you
And
so
over
much, ma'am.
80% said that a major life goal for them was to get rich. And another 50% of those same young adults said that another major life goal was to become famous. And we're constantly told to lean into work, to push harder and achieve more. We're given the impression that these are the things that we need to go after in order to have a good life. Pictures of entire lives, of the choices that people make and how those choices work out for them, those pictures are almost impossible to get. Most of what we know about human life, we know from asking people to remember the past. And as we know, hindsight is anything but 20/20. We forget vast amounts of what happens to us in life, and sometimes memory is downright creative. But what if we could watch entire lives as they unfold through time? What if we could study people from the time that they were teenagers all the way into old age to see what really keeps people happy and healthy? We did that. The Harvard study of adult development may be the longest study of adult life that's ever been done. For 75 years, we've tracked the lives of 724 men. Year after year, asking about their work, their home lives, their health, and of course, asking all along the way without knowing how their life stories were going to turn out. Studies like this are exceedingly rare. Almost all projects of this kind fall apart within a decade because too many people drop out of the study, or funding for the research dries up, or the researchers get distracted, or they die, and nobody moves the ball further down the field. But through a combination of luck and the persistence of several generations of researchers, this study has survived. About 60 of our original 724 men are still alive, still participating in the study, most of them in their 90s. And we are now beginning to study the more than 2,000 children of these men. And I'm the fourth director of the study. Since 1938, we've tracked the lives of two groups of men. The first group started in the study when they were sophomores at Harvard College. They all finished college during World War II, and then most went off to serve in the war. And the second group that we've followed was a group of boys from Boston's poorest neighborhoods. Boys who were chosen for the study specifically because they were from some of the most troubled and disadvantaged families in the Boston of the 1930s. Most lived in tenements, many without hot and cold running water. When they entered the study, all of these teenagers were interviewed, they were given medical exams. We went to their homes and we interviewed their parents. And then these teenagers grew up into adults who entered all walks of life. They became factory workers and lawyers and bricklayers and doctors, one president of the United States. Some developed alcoholism, a few developed schizophrenia. Some climbed the social ladder from the bottom all the way to the very top, and some made that journey in the opposite direction. The founders of this study would never in their wildest dreams have imagined that I would be standing here today, 75 years later, telling you that the study still continues. Every 2 years, our patient and dedicated research staff calls up our men and asks them if we can send them yet one more set of questions about their lives. Many of the inner city Boston men ask us, "Why do you keep wanting to study me? My life just isn't that interesting." The Harvard men never asked that question. To get the clearest picture of these lives, we don't just send them questionnaires. We interview them in their living rooms. We get their medical records from their doctors. We draw their blood. We scan their brains. We talk to their children. We videotape them talking with their wives about their deepest concerns. And when about a decade ago, we finally asked the wives if they would join us as members of the study, many of the women said, "It's about time." So what have we learned? What are the lessons that come from the tens of thousands of pages of information that we've generated on these lives? Well, the lessons aren't about wealth or fame or working harder and harder. The clearest message that we get from this 75-year study is this: good relationships keep us happier and healthier, period. We've learned 3 big lessons about relationships. The first is that social connections are really good for us and that loneliness kills. It turns out that people who are more socially connected to family, to friends, to community are happier, they're physically healthier, and they live longer than people who are less well connected. And the experience of loneliness turns out to be toxic. People who are more isolated than they want to be from others find that they are less happy, their health declines earlier in midlife, their brain functioning declines sooner, and they live shorter lives than people who are not lonely. And the sad fact is that at any given time, more than 1 in 5 Americans will report that they're lonely. And we know that you can be lonely in a crowd and you can be lonely in a marriage. So the second big lesson that we learned is that it's not just the number of friends you have, and it's not whether or not you're in a committed relationship, but it's the quality of your close relationships that matters. It turns out that living in the midst of conflict is really bad for our health. High conflict marriages, for example, without much affection, turn out to be very bad for our health, perhaps worse than getting divorced. And living in the midst of good, warm relationships is protective. Once we had followed our men all the way into their 80s, we wanted to look back at them at midlife and to see if we could predict who was going to grow into a happy, healthy octogenarian and who wasn't. And when we gathered together everything we knew about them at age 50, it wasn't their middle-aged cholesterol levels that predicted how they were going to grow old. It was how satisfied they were in their relationships. The people who were the most satisfied in their relationships at age 50 were the healthiest at age 80. And good, close relationships seem to buffer us from some of the slings and arrows of getting old. Our most happily partnered men and women reported in their 80s that on the days when they had more physical pain, their moods stayed just as happy. But the people who were in unhappy relationships, on the days when they reported more physical pain, it was magnified by more emotional pain. And the third big lesson that we learn about relationships and our health is that good relationships don't just protect our bodies, they protect our brains. It turns out that being in a securely attached relationship to another person in your 80s is protective, that the people who are in relationships where they really feel they can count on the other person in times of need, those people's memories stay sharper longer. And the people in relationships where they feel they really can't count on the other one, those are the people who experience earlier memory decline. And those good relationships, they don't have to be smooth all the time. Some of our octogenarian couples could bicker with each other day in and day out. But as long as they felt that they could really count on the other when the going got tough, those arguments didn't take a toll on their memories. So, this message that good, close relationships are good for our health and well-being, this is wisdom that's as old as the hills. Why is this so hard to get and so easy to ignore? Well, we're human. What we'd really like is a quick fix, something we can get that'll make our lives good and keep them that way. Relationships are messy and they're complicated, and the hard work of tending to family and friends, that's not sexy or glamorous. It's also lifelong. It never ends. The people in our 75-year study who were the happiest in retirement were the people who had actively worked to replace workmates with new playmates. Just like the millennials in that recent survey, many of our men, when they were starting out as young adults, really believed that fame and wealth and high achievement were what they needed to go after to have a good life. But over and over these 75 years, our study has shown that the people who fared the best were the people who leaned into relationships with family, with friends, with community. So what about you? Let's say you're 25, or you're 40, or you're 60. What might leaning into relationships even look like? Well, the possibilities are practically endless. It might be something as simple as replacing screen time with people time, or livening up a stale relationship by doing something new together, long walks or date nights, or reaching out to that family member who you haven't spoken to in years because those all too common family feuds take a terrible toll on the people who hold the grudges. I'd like to close with a quote from Mark Twain. More than a century ago, he was looking back on his life, and he wrote this: "There isn't time, so brief is life, for bickerings, apologies, heartburnings, callings to account. There is only time for loving, and but an instant, so to speak, for that. The good life is built with good relationships." Thank you.
Aditi, you're muted. Aditi, you're muted.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank you, ma'am.
so I just wanted to conclude with this beautiful video, such an obvious video, because we all know that relationships are the key to happiness. But how much time we actually invest in those relationships, and how many times we ignore this important aspect of our life. And I think the key to success and the key to happiness lies in the fact that ultimately to be happy should be the success mantra for everybody. Thank you so much for giving this time and opportunity. Over to Aditi.
Thank you, ma'am, so much. The video was inspirational. I hope everyone must have got something that what they have to do and how to work with it. Because nowadays many people are facing a lot of problem in their relationship. Plus, uh, pl- what how to succeed in life, what all they have. But I think after watching this video, everyone has must have understood it. Thank you so much, ma'am. As now we have come to the end, our viewers have posted some of the questions. The floor is open for our viewers to ask question answers. Over to our viewers. Yes, ma'am.
First of all, thank you, Ms. Pooja, for a wonderful session. The video that you shared reminded me of another quote by Gautama Buddha. Carrying grudge is like grasping hot coal in your hands with the intent of throwing it at someone. You are the one who gets burnt. So,
Right, so true.
yeah, that's Buddhist philosophy that I live by. So it's always important that get in touch with a family member, or put an end to family feuds. That is, I think, one key thing that can make you happy and be happy in your family relationships as well. Thank you very much for the video, ma'am.
Welcome.
I have actually two questions to ask you. One is that throughout your career, you have worked with a lot of youngsters, right? So if you take today's teenagers, most of them are, for them, success and happiness is mostly the validation that they seek in social media. So how can you make them understand that this is not the real deal? In terms of likes and followers, the happiness that you get from that is just temporary, and it is not the real thing. How do you make them understand that?
Difficult to make them understand, because see the aggression with which social media has entered into our lives. The If you actually observe social media, you'll see that they are made in a manner that the youngster, or even why youngster, even our age group, feels a sense of gratification when you get acknowledged on social media, right? So we are, initially we are kind of maneuvering our operations on social media. We are defining our operations, our work, our activities on social media. But one stage comes when we become enslaved by the social media. If you have put a post, you will time and again go back to check how many likes you've got, how many comments you've got. That's the time when the social media has become successful in enslaving you, in indoctrinating you into believing that this is it, this is this is the life you always desired. Because who doesn't want to be liked, who doesn't want to be acknowledged, who doesn't like to be praised? Everywhere on social media you see happy faces, everywhere you see those pictures posing, people posing as if they are one big happy family. But is that the truth? The reality around us is so different. Now your question is, how do you tell the youngsters? See, somewhere we will have to make our real life as attractive as social media or virtual life. The most of the time it is seen that our own families are so fragmented. The family time is not so much that the child or the teenager or the youngster has no choice but to go towards social media and seek pleasures there. Before social media, if you remember, when we were kids, we used to have family gatherings, we used to have those tea sessions and extended tea sessions, and people sitting and chatting on and on. There was so much time. No, that time was not because we didn't have work. We that time also we used to have offices 9 to 5, but we used to make time because there was no time for any other thing. So we have to create real pleasures in life so that the youngsters feel happy about it. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You're very, very right. That physical face-to-face relationship is getting lesser and lesser as kids are moving into social media. I think, this is also one cause for why they are feeling lonely, because they are always into that, that little phone screen, and they think the virtual world of friends that they have, that is what the entire world is. I think once they get out and start making real friends in the real world, and get involved in actual physical activities, and meeting people personally and all, I think a lot of these loneliness issues, depression, these kind of issues, they will have more people to talk to, right?
Surely.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question I have is, during your presentation, you were mentioning about mentor being just a guiding light. And, most of the time, the youngsters look at mentors for getting all the work done, rather than just, relying on them to get all the work done. That is I've seen that practice as well. So, in how would you define the difference between a mentor and a teacher?
So, a mentor and a teacher are mostly the same in the sense their habits, their objectives, their aims are the same, but they are different in the way they treat you. A teacher will be by your side most of the time, guide you at every moment, every step of your journey towards accomplishment. Remember, I told about accomplishment as a sub goal towards the goal towards success. So, accomplishment needs a teacher. Sometimes you need a teacher to help you achieve. Like if you want to achieve a great result in class 12th, you need a teacher. Without a teacher, it is very, very difficult. But a mentor stays with you throughout your life at times, He or she will be like somebody in the background, never coming to the foreground. Uh, you approach a mentor for guidance whenever you are stuck with a question, with a conflicting thought. And a mentor will never give you specifics. One interesting thing is that people start expecting mentors to give specifics. But generally, a guru or a mentor will give you a philosophical answer and ask you to make your own choices and choose your own path. sometimes teachers do become mentors. Some great teachers do become mentors. They go on with the students till they reach college or even their professional lives. But that's a rare possibility. So the aim of a mentor is to kind of give the other person a better quality life. Very bigger aim, it's like a bigger aim, bigger objective. And a teacher has a specific aim, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. That makes it clear because I'm also a mentor at Prayaana, and this would help me, get an idea of what my mentees are expecting from me. As you said, it's a lifelong journey. To have a relationship with the mentees where I guide them not in specific things, but I could talk about my experience, or I could talk about, I could give them various options that they can pursue when they are stuck in a particular situation. It's up to them to decide. I can't make the decision for them, right? So thank you so much, ma'am. The biggest takeaway that I'm taking from your session is that happiness is the key to success and beauty, both of which are very important to women.
Yes,
Thank
not the other way around.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Most welcome. We can stop the recording now.
I think Aditi might have some more questions. We had collected a few questions from our Prayaana members. So I think Aditi will have a few questions to ask you, ma'am.
But many people are messaging me why it is not being aired.
Okay.
I'm getting a lot of questions
All right, ma'am.
because they saw that 11 o'clock time. No.
Yeah,
Yeah, correct.
really apologize for
So
that.
when will it be? I have to give them an answer. When will
Okay.
it be?
I think I'll upload it on YouTube, and the comments that we get on the YouTube link, I can send it over to you, or we can reply on.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, that'll be better. Because they're asking me, so I just when will it be uploaded? Maybe
Ma'am, I'll try to upload it within an hour.
one. So should I say 1 p.m.?
Yes, ma'am, 1 p.m. sounds good.
Okay, fine, fine. Can we stop the meeting now?
Aditi,
Yeah.
please.
You
Yes,
have
ma'am.
questions?
Yes, ma'am. I have just one question. It's just that nowadays teenagers they want instant success. Means even if they fail, they don't take it very serious. They take it so seriously they end up giving up their lives. Means whether it's board exams or whether it's a international game, whether they have failed, they instantly start giving up their life. Means what can you give for this now?
I do agree with you that so there's a fragility in our youngsters. They're not able to face the reality of life.
Yeah.
And the moment they face that reality, they become very nervous and they become heartbroken, and they take to some very you know extreme actions. See, we have to expose and prepare our youngsters in schools only to face life. The solution does not lie in removing competition. Competition is there, stress is there, and it will remain always. The idea is to make them ready for it, how to face competition, how to face stress, so that when they go out in real life from their schools, they are prepared to face the stress and face all the consequences of action. So that is something which we have to prepare in school, not in not just throw the youngsters in the wide world and say, come on now, you fend for yourself. Okay, that's the role of schools. And with these words, I conclude the session, and happy Vishu to everybody.
Thank you, ma'am. I hope our viewers have got all your answers, and it was a really wonderful session, ma'am. It was really wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank
Pleasure.
you, ma'am. Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you, ma'am.
Thank you,
You,
Aditi.
thank you, ma'am. Oh,